the apprentice. What can be seen here is someone kind of working on their craft, or obviously building all these pentacles and so forth. But what this card really is all about is putting in the work. So when you see this card in a tarot reading, one of the most key things about it is the 8. In numerology, the 8 is really a karmic number. As above, so below, you will reap what you sow. So in this case, the 8 of Pentacles really means the amount of work that you put in is the amount of rewards that you get back out of it. And that's why it's very important that even for a long duration, you have good discipline, good habits, and just really do your work on a daily basis. And you may not see immediate results. That's the hardest part for people. But if you just consistently show up and do the work, then eventually you'll pay dividends over time. Some other key images in the card here is in the background. When you see a home or castle in the background in the tarot, it usually signifies how you want your life to be or how you want your home to be. In this case, since it is still a small castle in the background, so it's still quite far away, that's why it's saying you can see the path here that's leading towards it. It says if you keep doing this hard work, you keep working on your craft and your everything that you meant to do and put in the hard work, it'll eventually pay off, because that's why in numerology cycles, 8 is towards the end, and obviously if you have done work all along the way, it's kind of like planting crops, right? You put in the work along the way, you make sure the ground is taken care of, you put the seeds in carefully, spread apart enough, and you water them, and then you obviously take care of them so they can grow, then you will eventually reap a nice harvest. But that's not always guaranteed. And if you try to cut corners on any of those pieces, then your crops may not grow and you may not have a successful harvest. In the same way, if you just consistently show up and do your work and put in the time, then you will reap the rewards commensurate with the work and effort that you put into it. But if you're just, only not really doing it very well and only doing it halfway, then you can't expect to reap those rewards at the end, because you weren't honest about doing the work. That's what's really, when you see things about karma being in play, people think of it as, the boomerang effect or things coming back on you, but it's really about fairness. You get what you put in, so therefore you get what you deserve. In this case, it's about putting in the work to make sure that you are on track and doing what you're meant to do. Over here in the Light Seers Tarot, I love this different kind of modern expression of it. I love the fact that she's kind of looking away. Now instead of pentacles, they kind of show you different phases of the moon to represent the 8 of Pentacles. You can see here it kind of shows you that, which really says kind of the cycle of almost a monthly cycle. If you just keep showing up regularly over time for every phase of the moon, then you're going to reap the rewards. And I like these kind of things, these lines shooting out here. Almost looks like a tree with the roots and branches coming out of it, emanating from the center of this work, really signifying that if you do the work and you put in, you're going to have these branches grow out like a tree and reach out into the world, and eventually something's going to come from that, right? You're going to have all these connections heading out these different directions, and something's going to come back to you. It's this inability for us to see over the horizon, where you don't know where your work is going to affect others, or where the help that you need may come to you. But you just trust, if you keep putting things out there and they keep these branches or these connections from your work keep going out there, then some of them may find someone else, and it may find them at the right time in which you need them. And that's kind of the most important thing, is just continuously put in the work and do this. So when I see this come up in tarot card readings, what it usually tells people is, you're kind of on the right path of where you're meant to be, or what you're doing right now. Or if it's recovering from a relationship, it kind of says, get yourself busy in something that you want to do, that you really enjoy, and will kind of help heal you. It may not be the direct thing that you want out of it, but getting in that good habit of self-care and doing something that you really enjoy is what's going to help move you forward and make you feel like you're taking care of yourself and you're actually moving forward from the past hurt. And in other readings, and in workplace readings, of course, it does say, just like buckle down and kind of do the work, and, really trust the process that you will get the rewards at the end. People ask about, promotions or raises or things like that, and it kind of almost puts a mirror towards them and says, well, do you feel like you've done the work to deserve those things? Do you feel like that you have put in the time or the effort or the overtime or the whatever it might be, going above and beyond? And if you have, then you just got to trust the process and know that you will reap the rewards at the end. But if you have not, then there's almost no reason for you to even expect to have the results that you want, because you're just not being honest about doing the work that comes with it. So these are the main things I see about the Eight of Pentacles and the eights in general being a very positive karmic number, because if you are doing the right thing on the way, then you can expect great rewards, and if you're not, then you will get the kind of what you almost deserve, right?